Your mom would like bake the cake in a mixing bowl and then turn it upside down and decorate it like a skirt, and then they'd stick Barbie in it.
Now this being mentioned, I've always wanted to come out of a cake for non-stripping reasons.
Well, there we go.
Well, for non-stripping reasons.
Yeah, I've never heard of the non-stripping reason for somebody
who's
coming
hiding
out
in
of
a cake unless they're coming out naked.
Like a special guest, like for your birthday.
Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet.
Down. Oh, I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hey.
Slappy Pappy want. I'm Thaddaeus Mckee. This is Harder Brunch, as you know. I gotta announce something right off the top. Dyke is not with us. He hasn't passed on, but he's not with us today. He's at Skankfest. So we have amazing hosts joining us right now. Give a warm welcome to Gwen Sunkel.
What's up, everybody?
How are you doing, Gwen?
Great. You can call me the bisexual Dyke.
The bisexual Dyke.
Indianapolis.
That sounds like an awesome poster that I can't wait for that to be made.
I wore my Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, who are you wearing today?
It's I believe it's a designer called Old Navy.
Oh, Old Navy. Yeah. Well, that's a Dyke Michael design right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is a Dyke Michael's original.
And then you got some utensils with you as well?
Yeah. I, for some reason, have 2 screwdrivers in the pocket of my overalls, just in case people can't tell.
Yeah, it's giving extra bisexual today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You need me to take something apart, girl?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
In the 1s and 2s, we have none other but the great sauce boss of Indiana, Zach Rome.
Well, zippity doo.
Hey,
I like that.
You've been working on it, haven't you?
I'm going to do a new one every time.
You're going to do that. You're committing to that?
Yeah. You heard it here first.
All right, we're going to put a 1 in the background. If you don't commit, then it goes back to 0. All
right. Rolling countdown. Now, you did not do most of his intro. On the 1s and 2s, the wheels of steel.
Well, that's something that Dyke does, and I in particular, I don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it as much as some other people might, as I'm finding out right now.
I thought for sure this was I don't know Dyke's middle name situation, and you just don't know Zach's intro.
We're going to bring that up from camp. Well, yeah.
Yeah. If we don't get to have inside jokes, then what on earth was the point of us going to summer camp?
Yeah, what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, inside jokes for some. If you want to know those inside jokes, definitely get a camp ticket
for next year. Mm-hmm. You missed it this year. FOMO.
It was a great camp. This is the first time that we've had in the studio actual police officer. We're trying something new as Harder Brunch. We're having a policewoman, fashion police, Jess West, everybody. Look at that. See what I did there?
Got him.
Jess West. See, this is the thing about having Gwen as a co-host. She likes to poke holes at everything. Let's keep moving on.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, Jess West, one of the best fashion designers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting.
And how many fashion designers on the number of fashion designers you've met?
I can't even count.
Can't even count. Bush League.
Zach seemed to have a timer.
Hey, our all good timer went off, so you guys are doing a great job.
Just to check in to see everything.
Dyke told me to set it. I don't know why, but
set it for 3 minutes of the podcast. Should go off right after the intros. Probably right when we're introducing the guests would be the best.
Yeah, it's karma.
We don't want to build too much momentum in the early part of the show. Anyway. Ruining the podcast all the way from Las Vegas is Dyke Michaels, but we're here in studio with
Jess West, everybody.
Yeah!
Jess West.
Yes.
Don't forget that T.
Not the T.
The cross.
So also, I would like to be called a costume designer. I love
costume
fashion,
designer. Okay.
but I'm very monsters and costuming.
Mm-hmm. I got you. It wouldn't have gone good with my police pun that I've been playing for 2 days.
I do love fashion too. I'm a fashion designer.
I feel like you scream fashion.
Designer in general.
But you're a costume designer, which is...
What's the difference to the layperson?
So, I guess it's all intertwined, right?
Okay.
But I think fashion is more kind of what you wear on, outside in the world, and costumes I wear costumes all the time, but like for the everyday versus like events and, certain characters or ideas of, it just depends on how elaborate it is, I guess.
So trying to embody a certain
sure,
character
sometimes,
or
yeah,
idea,
for sure,
maybe.
for sure.
Okay. Versus just what you're putting out there on your body.
But also, not necessarily. it's very intertwined. I just like the ring of costume designer versus fashion designer, I guess.
All right, I like it.
Absolutely. I want to get more into that, like when you started that. But first, this goes without mentioning. Your name precedes the show. You were going to be on here.
Yep.
A long time ago, actually.
Yeah, actually.
I think even a different household.
No, it was this house.
I think it was
Yeah,
here.
it was this house.
Was it this house?
Yes.
Oh, you are first cancel.
In this house.
So you're on the wall of shame,
Shame.
which is, you're up with a lot of cool people though.
That's awesome.
We got Sirius Black, you,
Megan Gailey.
and those are very famous people. And you made it.
And you are in great company. So
Can I get taken off the wall after today?
After today,
we'll see how this episode
Okay.
goes.
There's a
okay.
road
All
to
right.
redemption.
I'll deliver. Got it.
There's a road to redemption. Let's go back to what happened.
what
Dyke
was
invited
playing?
you. Huh?
Yeah, what was playing in the
What was
theaters?
in the theaters that day? That's a fair question.
Very popular movies coming out.
But so Dyke invited you, and I remember he was like, "Oh, I'm really excited about this guest," and and we planned the dinners, and we're kind of waiting. Like, okay, a guest could be a little bit late. That's fair. No, you probably messaged,
I did.
but
It's
so
like, this is not right.
okay. So what happened?
I messaged at like 8:30 in the morning. Was like, hey, bro, I am not feeling well today. Like, you do not want me there. It will not be good. I am so sorry. I hope this gives you enough time to have someone else.
Okay, and
We
you.
did.
And here's the thing: you felt bad about it.
We did. Terrible.
You offered to make us costumes. You even participated in most of our events.
Well, that's because we had never met. And so we were going to the comedy show. I went with my friend Lauren and showed up, and we had met, and we started talking, and we realized who each other were. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That was
awesome.
I was supposed to be on your podcast.
Yeah. So I'm hanging out with my friend Aaron Rodgers. He's like, hey, we're going to go to your comedy show with these girls. I'm like, okay, cool. And it just had happened maybe a few months later. And then you're in the back. You're like, I'm Jess West. I'm like, I know that name. But like my brain said, wait, something's wrong with this name. Why?
Blacklist.
Why do I hate this person?
Yeah, someone's
I've
like,
never
were
met
you supposed to be
them.
on the podcast? Is that why we have holes in our wall? No, but we met in the back of the car that day, and we had a blast. I was
We
like,
had a blast that night. Oh, blast.
I was like, dude, Dyke, I just met Jess West. Like, she's really cool.
went
He's
to
like,
Legends.
yeah, I know. He's like, I have cool people on the show. That's why I wanted her on so bad. But you made it up.
Yeah, sometimes Dyke will tell me like, Thad is really not excited about this guest coming on this week. Like we have the head of sanitation for the Lawrence County coming on the podcast, and Thad is not so sure about this one. But he was excited about.
It's good.
Yeah.
So that's the road to redemption. That's your origin story. Tell us real quick.
That's over.
I do really want to get into the food real quick before we go into any more origin stories.
Does that mean it's time for a Smoking Goose brunch breakdown?
Yes, the Smoking Goose brunch broke down.
Brunch breakdown.
Broke down. Well, let's go. I'm going to start with mine because I had a short biscuit braised,
Short
ribbed braised biscuit at Landlocked. We went to Landlocked today. We walked over and it was delicious. We had some Brussels sprouts for the table.
Table
Yeah.
sprouts.
Table sprouts. What did you think about those sprouts, Gwen?
Oh, they were so good. So crispy and flavorful.
Not as many people dug into those as I thought they would.
I disagree. I think we
Latino
all had some.
Basically,
Yeah.
everybody did.
Yeah.
Did everybody have some?
Yeah, I think
We
it was
did.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think any more people could have tried them.
Well, there was a lot of leftovers.
Big bowl.
We were commenting like why were our parents like serving us steamed Brussels sprouts as kids when there was a way to make them this delicious?
Right.
Like what were we doing?
People have been doing it wrong for centuries.
You're right. When you're right, Thad. I mean,
What did you have?
I also had the short rib biscuit. So Landlock's menu is small but mighty. There were only a couple breakfast items, but yeah, so I had the short rib biscuit. I also had a pumpkin donut and a pistachio latte, which, chef's kiss. I love that.
How was that pumpkin donut?
Latte. I was not going to elaborate on it because it is not. It was not their best pastry that I've ever had. The pastry cream inside was delicious. The fry on the donut was just like a little heavy-handed, I thought.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But I am kind of a donut slut, so I have opinions.
You have opinions on those.
Opinions, yes.
Was it warm?
That might have been part of the problem as well.
Okay.
It was not.
You like warm donuts?
Not even that. I just think that they have to be really fresh.
Oh gosh, this is a terrible review for them.
And I don't think that it was. We should move on to some of the food that was really delicious.
How bad was it? Welcome back to How Bad Was It?
Local neighborhood edition. I'm never going to be able to show my face in Landlocked again. No, it was all really good. I loved it. Thank you so much, Landlocked.
I don't know. We don't want you to lie. Jess, what did you have?
I will redeem all of this. So I really don't have Bloody Marys often. I've never really ordered them, and I ordered one today.
You were
and
nervous
I
about
loved
it. Oh, you loved it.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It
Nice
looked good.
horseradish. It had a shrimp on the top with some, it was really good. It was good. And then I had the avocado toast, pistache, avocado. It had some radish. It had dill, a little lemon, and then the perfectly crispy bacon. It was fire.
Oh, it looked
Loved
amazing. Looked amazing. And Zach, what did you have?
I had the hero. It was a giant sandwich.
It
It
was
was so good.
Yeah.
And you became the hero of the table.
Yeah, I
Because
feel
you
like
shared it with all of us.
I didn't even give you half of the sandwich, and I gave it to everybody.
Yeah.
3 or 4 bites out of the corner you gave me.
Yeah.
It was massive.
What do you think made that sandwich good?
I mean, the bread was very good, and then just all of the, I don't know, there were like 3 meats on there.
It was spicy too. A little spice to it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like a jardinera kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was good.
Yeah.
It's literally one of my favorite brunch spots because it's the closest. For real. Like, I just will get up and walk. I'm like, what do I want? Oh, I could go right over to Landlocked. And I thought, this would be a perfect one because Dyke is away in his Vegas stay.
And I don't want to put too much effort in.
And I don't
They
want
also
to.
ordered like beer and a shot, like a Miller High Life and a shot. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the
I
options
like
I was
it. Yeah.
That is nice. Like, that's a nice wink from the community. Like, hey, we're cool. You guys could have a little beer and a shot.
Bud.
Yeah.
Miller High Life, something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that goes for our smoking goose breakdown. Cheers. I was hoping there was going to be music playing, and of course, I'm going to interrupt myself real quick with the Breaking Away commercial.
Are you going to interrupt this podcast?
Yeah.
What?
Interrupt when we're having some Breaking Away. We had some walk-in beers because that's right. You could walk and drink beer in Indiana outside.
Actually, no, you cannot. This is,
Indianapolis.
People just say it.
this
We
is
just do it.
very illegal.
No, it's actually legal. Look it up. It is legal. You're allowed. Well, they made a rule after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's only in on Georgia Street. It's not like
There's been a lot of confusion after Super Bowl. Like,
Wait,
tell me.
if I'm wrong, I want to know.
I think it's in that proximity, but I'm not sure.
Have I been walking around with beers illegally this whole time?
I mean, you used to be able to drive around with beer in your car. Like my dad, if my mom was driving, you could, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I just had a hillbilly family.
the
and we're
booze and
supposed to do
cruise.
that, but,
No,
like,
you could do that until 2010.
Yeah,
You
I
were,
remember
the
that.
passenger
I remember
could have
thinking,
an
why
open
is Dad have a
container.
beer in the car? Mom's driving. Like, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah. No, the booze and cruise. Yeah, like everybody else can pregame while you're. So what's the verdict there? The Indiana code is silent as to open containers outside of vehicles.
Yeah, it looks like it's all good.
Silent.
There is a law against public intoxication. So 1 walking beer is fine.
Not 7.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I just so can we put the Thad was right button? It needs to be put on. I'm tired of this.
Shame.
Thank you. Well, they'll know. They'll know that means that Thad was right. All right. That's cool.
Every time you hear the word shame, just think about how correct Thad was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So breaking away from tradition, if you guys like Upland beer, take a walk. It's not illegal.
Yeah. Ride your bike. Drink this beer while riding your bike and breaking away from
The law.
Break away from the law.
Breaking the law away.
Upland tradition. All right, I want to get into your origin story because, one, I want to know what inspires a costume designer like yourself.
Tell
Curious.
us.
You're asking me what I know. A challenge to create something new every time is usually like one of the things I enjoy the most. It's very stressful, but when you accomplish the goal, it's like bang, bang every time. You know, it's like it makes you feel really good. And inspiring comes from different places. Like you asked me a question a little bit earlier. I already have the cooking. Like it's just like taking life experiences and like relating them to characters that you want to make.
Love
and
it.
like what people want to be and what people like.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your favorite costume you've ever designed?
Oh man. So it's kind of deep. I made something called 7 Years Bad Luck. And I have a client. He's a rich doctor in Michigan. His name is Dan. He's dope. He pays a lot of money for costumes during Halloween, and he typically gives me the keys to the car. He'll be like a concept, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So before mirrors were a thing, like you saw your reflection maybe a pond of water, not necessarily a mirror. So when mirrors came about, they were like, that's witchcraft.
Yeah.
Right. And they thought you were looking at your soul. And when you broke a mirror, they thought you were trapped in that mirror. Your soul became trapped. And so I made a costume that was half masculine, half feminine. And it had thousands of shattered mirrors all over it. And then underneath the mirrors, you know, like the Halloween store that has the pictures when you walk by, they change.
the lenticular,
I put
yeah.
those underneath. And so these people's faces would change as you looked at them underneath the mirrors. It was very trippy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that costume was tight.
This is the picture of it
Yes.
here? Oh, wow.
And then underneath,
Wow.
I think if you scroll down, there's a video. I put 3M fabric underneath. So there's
Oh my gosh.
you can see the faces.
Yeah.
If you scroll down, this is in the basement patron saint before they really like hooked it up. That's outside during the day. And then the next video is at nighttime. I wait to see what happens to it.
Oh my word. Guys, go check this out. This is hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm shaking right now.
And then scroll down one more. It should be on there. I put 3M fabric underneath, and so it glows at night.
Yo.
It looks like the souls are trying to
Let's
escape the mirrors.
go. Hey.
That's actually me in Patron Saint's basement before they did the garden room.
Yo.
That's so cool.
That has to be one of my favorite costumes I've ever seen. It looks like an angel.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like basically like if you were to crack a mirror, right, in a movie,
Yeah.
it starts vibrating and shaking, the soul's trying to escape, like
Yeah.
poltergeisty, right? That's why
No,
it's like,
absolutely.
it's a cool way to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Now, how long did something like that take you?
Probably a couple
well
minutes.
over 100 hours.
Wow.
Most of the costumes for Dan take anywhere between 100 and 200 hours to create.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And he's just kind of like a Halloween.
He is. So
Nuts,
he has
so
this
he-
so the costumes over the years have progressed to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I actually have to deliver them typically to him.
Yeah.
Because they won't fit. Like I built a giant pumpkin man. Like it's 12 feet tall or whatever, 9 feet tall. But he has this like nice home in a suburb in Michigan, and he goes all out. Like it looks like he buys professional grade like Halloween haunted house props, and he decorates his home, the entire house, into the basement, and has my costumes on display, and lets all the neighborhood kids and families tour his home during Halloween. He does it because he doesn't do any costume contests, try to make money off the costumes, anything like that. He just supports artists and like has this dope house that he checks out every year.
Wow.
Found me on Google.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just found you on Google.
Yeah.
Guess who else found you on Google? Notre Dame, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you allowed to announce that yet?
Maybe not. I'm not really that. It's not.
Just kidding.
Never
Scratch
mind.
I did one. Yeah, I did a mascot for them. Yeah.
that. So you did a mascot
Yeah,
for
I did.
Notre
I
Dame.
created a prototype for one of their mascots.
Isn't that dope?
Yeah, Yeah.
Like,
So go sports ball, right? Like I'm like, what's funny is like I did costume for them. I did Aaron Judge for the New York Yankees. I do the gowns and the judges' chambers. What else? There's another sports thing. Like go sports ball. I'm not a sports person. You know what I mean? So I don't get as excited about it, but it is cool, right?
Yeah.
wait, did you do Lemmy the lemon shake-ups? Mascot?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, you did do
that's
that.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
I spoke out of turn for a second.
Zach's correct button. I like that one.
Yeah.
Same.
I've done them. The Indiana State Department of Health. I did their Live doll, which is on their mascot on their website. I did some Solar Energy Company, which is a sunshine costume. Yeah.
Yeah, you did one of the meat cake costumes as well.
Yeah.
What did we have? We had
The pants.
We had the
I
meat
made a whole meat
pants.
dress.
sweats.
I actually sold that meat dress. Like somebody found me online. It was like, can I buy that dress? I
That's
sold it to them.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was so cool.
That's awesome, and we're going to be waiting for some of that money because of
It was very small, nominal. Basically.
because we inspired it. Get the Harder Brunch lawyers on that a little bit later, Zach. Just write that down so we don't forget.
Oh, there's Greta.
Greta Gremlin.
Yeah, I started out as Gizmo. I do something called a transition costume. So I built the giant Gizmo costume. And then we were on stage at this nightclub in Chicago. And that's a Horror Hound. I won their costume contest. I would throw somebody would throw blue glitter on me and like rain, like water. And then I would throw fur balls at the crowd. And then I strip down and turn into Greta from inside that gremlin.
Oh, wow.
They're all transition costumes.
That's very cool.
I would love to see that transition.
That's old school costume.
We actually have Gizmo right behind you. The guy who created Gizmo.
Oh,
yeah, he signed a poster of Gizmo, the actual
Really?
creator. Yeah,
That's
because he
cool.
heard of what we were doing.
That's cool.
What are you?
Now, do you ever do any like?
There's the pumpkin guy, the pumpkin man right there. That's another Dan List costume.
Oh wow.
That's somebody inside, like in the center chest cavity, is where their vision
Oh,
is.
wow.
And the three pumpkins have a pulley system, so they talk.
Well, you
No
made
way.
talking pumpkins?
But their mouths move. Yeah.
Oh my word!
So this is like half costume, half puppet, half.
Yeah, essentially.
Wow.
And it's not on the website right now, but I also have a Medusa costume. We did animatronics, so the snakes spin on her head.
No way.
With yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Okay, so when did you start making costumes?
I was 12.
You're 12 years old. Did you watch like a movie and you're like, oh, I can
Yeah.
do that?
Uma Thurman was Poison Ivy, so she's on my wrist to remind me where I started.
From Batman Forever.
Yeah, that was
One
like
of the best Batmans.
Kiss from a Rose from that song or from that movie.
I wanted to be her for Halloween. I'm like 12, and I'm like, Walmart's definitely not going to have that of that caliber. So I went out, and my mom kind of had taught me how to sew a little bit. Home ec. I took home ec in 6th grade too, a little bit of sewing. Made the costume. It was amazing, with leaves from the dollar store and a bodysuit. I even dyed my hair red with Kool-Aid. My mom was not
Nice.
happy when she saw that. She came home, went to school, and actually got sent to the principal's office because they thought the outfit was not appropriate for a 12-year-old to be wearing.
It was too.
It was tight.
Too
It was just
sexy.
tight. It was just tight. There was literally nothing else about it besides the fact that it was tight. Isn't that crazy?
Too sexy for 12 years.
Yeah, and I explained, I'm like, I made this. You're not, I'm not getting in trouble for this. And then they sent me back, and I got in the costume contest and won.
Of course.
That was. I have a picture of it actually.
So you got kicked out, and then you came back and won that
Yeah, I beat the little Noble Romans character guy, right? No, or
the Noid.
or no, Little Caesars,
Little Caesars
and then Bill and
guy.
Hillary Clinton in these big creepy masks were also my competition, and then something else that I don't remember.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I love that. And you really show them who's boss, too. That's very dramatic. And so that's when you really started getting into it. And then you're like, wait, when did you start thinking I could make a living out of this?
That didn't take place until several years later. I always just made costumes for myself and clothes and stuff like that. I'm self-taught, so I would cut my clothes apart, sew them back together, make costumes, and da-da-da-da. And over the course of several years, I got better at it, but I didn't know I was going to make a career. Came back to Indianapolis in 2012, and I had a boatload of student loan debt for fashion merchandising, which
punch card computing.
yeah, I got into the
Super
costume
useful to
contest. They
create.
were giving away $1,000 for ZPL. I'm like,
Dang.
bet I will go win this. And so that's when the concept of transition. I made this big mummy, And I kept that thing on for 3 hours, and it was so hot underneath, and I was an Egyptian underneath. So I ripped it off and then turned into this like sexy Egyptian, and people were like, what was that?
Amazing.
I started making money off of it, and then people would be like, hey, can you make me something? Can you make me something? And then it spiraled in like, I'm not just an artist now, I have to be a business owner, and that's what happened.
Wow.
Then the indie, well, yeah, so then I was building a big 12-foot tall werewolf, and he was in my basement. It was like super creepy dungeon basement, and met this guy Xavier, who's a ballroom dancer, and a ballroom dancer was Nikki from the Smiley Morning Show. She needed an outfit. She comes over and she's like, what is that? That
like,
werewolf,
it's a giant werewolf
yeah.
carcass.
She's like, my roommate's a reporter for Indie Star. Can I tell her about you? And then they wrote the article about Chewbacca, and then I was able to quit my job at Thaddaeus and make costumes full time ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were working at Thaddaeus when you were doing this on the side.
Yeah.
So it was just like a side hustle.
Yeah, I was doing, but yeah, I was bartending at Tiki Bob's, Bella Vita,
Doing all
the
the
things,
things.
working restaurants,
The gig economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Has there ever been a costume that you're like, that you've turned down that you're like, I'm not making that? Absolutely not.
The only time the only time I turn down a costume if it's like if the budget's not there.
Okay.
Right? Like,
No,
I'll make you
that's-
anything you want, but also I don't like to do exact replicas of things. I like to put a little twist on it. Like, they could tell that it's made from Just West Costumes.
Gotcha.
A twist from the West.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. You know, I think my favorite fashion designers both have the last name West.
Really?
And I know you're thinking Kanye. I'm not talking about Kanye. I'm talking about Kardashian. Kim Kardashian West.
Oh.
I'm kidding, Kanye. No, what do
You like that shapewear, huh? It really
Ooh.
holds you in.
I think the
skins.
Yeezys did. I feel like if you like shoes at all, the Yeezys did their thing. Like, people enjoyed them. They were very fashionable. A lot of people bought
No, they
them.
weren't.
Were they fashionable?
They looked like a 3D printed something that like you wear on the moon.
I enjoyed some of the
don't-
Yeezys for sure.
I think what those companies do, like, they create a brand that they keep like you want to have those, you have to have those, like people want to have, like everybody has that, you need to have that.
Yeah, so it's more about the brand.
But that's part of the art, though,
Re-
right? Is it?
Depends. I think that some people become famous for certain things first, and then they use that to get people to want to buy certain things instead of it just being creative. That doesn't necessarily say that they are doing that. I just is in general, some people that become designers, they don't really, like me, I'm a designer because I always loved art.
Right.
Instead of just, being a famous singer or an actor and just like, oh, I'm going to start making clothes.
Gotcha.
And people buy them because of that.
What would be the thing that you would get everybody to wear if you were like a famous fashion person?
Well, it's not necessarily a clothing item, but I love to make bags and like upcycle things out of vinyl records.
Ooh, how cool.
And I think that would be something really cool to start, is becoming very trendy because there's a lot of like waste and like a lot of just stuff that sits on the shelves in terms of vinyl records. So that would be like good for the environment and really dope at the same time.
The spin movement.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I like it.
You can melt them down, you can incorporate it, you can flex, like bend them and like do all kind. Yeah, they're awesome.
How cool.
Welcome back to Spin the Needle. Threads. Spin the threads.
Spin them.
Yeah.
What a tangled web we weave. What are we doing, Thad?
Well, I was trying to riff with you for a second.
No, you did a great job. It was great.
I did want to ask you a question about fashion, because we as Harder Brunch, we're always trying to be a little bit more fashionable. You're trying to stay in the zeitgeist in the right way.
Hence the Hawaiian shirt.
The Dyke Hawaiian shirt. Some people have given me sweatshirts to wear on the show, and I'm thinking, we'll start with me and Dyke. Simple. What would you, if you were going to come and reimagine our fashion for the show, or even for a meat cake competition, what would that look like in your head?
So he would definitely be like the chef, you know, with like an overwhelmingly like funky hat, you know, like
Okay.
maybe like a meat hat or something like that with a really cool like apron, like just kind of in character for what he traditionally does.
Okay.
All I can see for you is kind of the mascot style thing that we were talking about earlier, like the cake with oven, but I definitely put big glasses on it, just like you wear. I think that would be
So you're
great.
putting me
The heart
in the
glasses?
costume, absolutely.
Yeah.
wait, time out. You're making me a cake?
Yeah, I wanted to make you into the meat cake that has like the different layers that you would see.
I think that's great.
Because you have many layers to
Yeah,
you.
you're a very layered dude.
You are.
I don't
It'd be
like
stylish to have different colors. It would. I think the color you love color palettes. And
I don't
colors.
like want to wear a huge cake.
No, it doesn't have to look like that. I'm talking
It'll
about
look,
your
it'll
shirt.
look really
looks
elegant.
like it.
I don't think that's sexy at all.
You're not getting the vision.
I was
You don't
thinking,
trust her?
He's not a costume designer, so
Yeah,
He's not getting the
he's
vision.
not.
Yeah.
he doesn't.
I'm
Like it'll make
not-
you look like you have a bunch of different layers within your
Yeah.
outfit.
But, like-
textures. Like you don't have to be the actual like mascot character.
Yeah.
So do you think I could? Okay.
I think we just move ahead with it. You're going to love it.
Can it be a slim cut cake costume?
Sure. I can just make you an actual jacket that looks like it's layered out of different materials. That looks like different sections of the cake. is what I'm
Now
getting at.
we're talking.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
I
Not
thought
the
I
actual
was picturing
mascot.
like a huge thing where like my arms were like 1
No,
inch,
like kind of like a structured
and I'm
shirt.
like I can't go to the bar like this. Like, hey, what's up?
No,
you were
like
picturing one of those Barbie cakes that's made out of a mixing bowl where it's just the cake on the bottom with you in the middle.
oh my gosh, where does it fit together? The pieces? Is that what you're talking about? No, maybe not.
No, where
I'm
your-
going like
your mom would like bake the cake in a mixing bowl and
Oh.
then turn it upside down and
Oh.
decorate it like a skirt, and then they'd stick Barbie in it.
Now this being mentioned, I've always wanted to come out of a cake for non-stripping reasons.
Well, there we go.
Well, for non-stripping reasons.
Yeah, I've never heard of the non-stripping reason
Who's-
for somebody
who's
coming
hiding
out
in
of
a cake unless
Like-
they're coming out naked.
Like a special guest, like for your birthday.
Maybe that'd be it. Maybe that's it. Is that how you usually want to do the cake?
See this like something like this, but it's meat
Oh,
cake
yeah.
on the bottom. You know? Yeah,
Okay.
you get it.
And you could step out of it whenever you wanted to.
All right. Well, we'll see. I might be able to wear a cake dress. That's not at all where I was thinking this was going, but I'm doing it. I'll do that. What about Zach? Real quick. Zach is the last one. We'll make you reimagine.
No, I want to know how she'd style me as well.
You're a utensil babe. I'll make you into the giant
Utensil babe, I love it.
Like a workshop.
earlier because we brought it up. So I was like, we're gonna make it into like the golden fork. Like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a little screwdriver, and then you could have your drink. That's a screwdriver as well.
Do, 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 do,
Okay.
do.
That'd be great.
Do, do,
A layered.
do, do.
Okay. Let me help you out a little bit. If I'm doing a cake, because I'm
Okay.
still thinking about that.
Okay, see?
If
Here we
I'm
go.
having a cake, I want it to be a cake tuxedo.
Yeah, that's what I was envisioning, like a jacket, like with different
Yeah.
structure to it.
So black on the bottom, or brown.
No colors of that. It would just
Pink.
be all layers of
Just
cake.
be like layer, layer, layer,
cake,
layer.
cake.
Cake. Yeah.
You're having a hard time visioning this. That's why it's
I
my
am,
job.
and
It's
that's
my
why it's
job.
your job to
Yes,
like
yeah.
convince. You know, I
But I
if
don't
this was
convince
Shark
verbally.
Tank.
I convince,
Yeah.
visually. I'm a
She
visual
does.
artist.
She does her talking on the carcass.
Okay,
So
there we go. Yeah, if this was Shark Tank, I wouldn't turn around or hit the button. I would be like that. For that reason, I'm out. But like, that's the problem. I might
it's not the
be open.
voice. It's Shark Tank. There's no button.
I don't watch TV.
Did y'all know that Shark Tank did not originate in America?
No.
So before it was in America, it was in Canada, and it was called The Dragon's Den.
Ooh,
And
that's
before
way cooler.
in Canada, it was in Japan, and they were called Money Tigers.
Money Tigers.
Tigers, yeah. I
Money
was like,
Tigers
oh,
is so
dang,
much
I
better.
like that. Yeah,
Money Tigers.
Dragon's Den.
yeah,
I like that too.
yeah. I do like that too. I love
Money Tiger.
I love the idea of them just like sitting on a giant pile of gold coins. Like, yes, I'll invest in your new alarm clock. You know.
See, there's need for costumes everywhere.
Oh yes.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were about to say
No,
something.
I'm sorry. I didn't have anything more interesting
No.
to say than that. I just got
No,
really excited
the
about
Money
Money
Tigers
Tigers.
is great. I think that's what we're gonna call this podcast.
Money Tiger. That's the name of the episode. It's
Money Tigers. Yeah. We will be back after this quick commercial break.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
This is before I knew you really well, but like I was like, "Hey, Dustin, my new stage name is This Nasty Black."
No. It was Negro Spiritual.
Oh,
Yep,
Negro
yep,
Spiritual.
yep.
Thank you, Negro Spiritual. Eric, what? Okay, you could just say it. Just introduce me as Negro Spiritual. And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my new stage name." And I
He
walked
asked
away.
you multiple times. He was like, "Are you sure?" He did not want to say it.
My stage name is Negro Spiritual. So he goes up and like you can tell that he's nervous about saying it. He's like, "All right, guys, I want you to welcome to the stage Negro Spiritual." And I go up there and I'm like, "What?"
Join us at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
Hey, we are going to sign off with Jess. Thanks so much for being here. Where can people find you?
Thank you. I have a website, jesswestcostumes.com, and then I have Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
Awesome. And you said you're taking commissions up to 5 days before
We'll
Halloween.
take commissions the night before if you got the money.
Okay, all right. We're gonna talk to you more on the After Brunch
That's
podcast
right,
behind
After
the
Brunch,
Patreon,
baby.
behind the paywall. But we'll be back in a few minutes with Alex Bozinovic.
It's October, spooky Halloween, baby.
Woo!
Trick or treat.
Get a costume.
And Jess West is the treat. Welcome to the Harder Brunch. Right now, Dyke is not with me. He is in Vegas right now
R.I.P. Dyke.
doing crazy things. So
Yeah.
with me is my co-host right now, Gwen Sunkel.
Slappy Pappy Wah Wah. Did I
You
do
want-
it right?
Well, I'd give it a plus. What do you say, Sauce Boss, on the ones and twos?
Yeah, I like all the intros we're doing, and I like all the plug sets we're doing.
Yeah, I
That's
like.
what
I
said.
I like
There's only
mixing it
one.
up. This is
Yep.
how we're going to do this plug. I
So
like
many
that.
plugs.
Casey Campbell.
The Fluid Druid.
You can find me smoking a hand-rolled cigarette outside anywhere, and you can also find me online at Danger Brew on Instagram.
All right, let's get the plugs right at
So
top.
many plugs.
And Alex, do you want to do any plugs before you leave?
We have a guest here
Sure.
for the second half of Harder Brunch. Straight off of the Let's Fest Comedy Festival.
Go ahead, keep going.
No, you practice saying his name, so I want to hear you say it accurately.
Oh yes, with us. I'm very happy to have this guest in studio with Harder Brunch, Alex Bozinovic.
Hey everybody,
Yes.
how's it going? How's it going, Harder Brunch?
Oh
awesome.
my gosh.
We're so good.
One, I have to say this. You are the first person to invite me into the podcast world.
I technically started this dynasty.
You started me.
Oh, okay.
You are my origin story.
Okay.
You were on his podcast?
Yes, we were at Gen Con. This is the first place I met you.
Yeah.
And you were playing a character. What character were you playing?
I was playing Thomas Luge. That was the host of my now former podcast because we ended it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
This was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a couple weeks ago. We did the last episode. It was called the Truth Cast. It was a conspiracy podcast, like improv thing, where we just had other comics come on and you give us your topic, and then we just riff on it.
Right. And we riffed on Harry Potter. That's what we riffed on.
Yeah.
And it was my first it was my first time ever doing a podcast. You asked me to come on and I was like, "Oh wait, I think I could do this." And then I was like, if there's only another podcast going on in Indianapolis, and Dyke was in the mix. But listen, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun recording it in the convention center and everyone looking at us like we were insane.
Oh yeah. Because we were talking about crazy shit.
Yeah.
We were going off topic. We were talking about wormholes. Like we were being as nerdy as that probably looked normal though. We were being as nerdy as possible.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Given the context of the conference that was happening, we probably were. Now that I think about it, we probably were the most normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me.
The most normal people at Gen Con, that's like being the hottest girl at rehab. It's like not an actual accomplishment.
Most normal people. Yeah.
I was also on the Truth Cast, and it stands for something like true.
It's true revelations uncovered through heroism.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that might be why you're not finding it.
I'm so.
Yeah, that's not it right there.
Yeah, that one's about the Bible. I don't.
There's
think
there's like 4 truth casts, and we kind of did that on purpose. Like we wanted to give it the dumbest name we could think of,
so that people could.
Yeah.
But that's not it either.
It's probably also why our numbers kind of just like plateaued at some point.
Yeah, you're like, okay, all of our friends are listening to this, and now no one else can find it.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the truth, you want to know the truth about some coffee?
Yeah, tell me the truth about some coffee, Gwen.
That one of Harder Brunch's sponsors, Tinker Coffee, makes the best coffee in the entire city of Indianapolis.
I disagree. I would say in the world.
In the world. Okay. All right. You're putting it out there. I personally haven't had every coffee in the world, but yeah, I know this one's incredible. You know who's not having a great day right now?
Who?
Dyke Michaels, because 1, he's at Skankfest. And 2, he doesn't have any Tinker coffee out in Las Vegas. And you know how much he whines when he doesn't have any Tinker coffee.
Oh, yeah. He's probably pissed.
He is. He's probably paying $9 a cup for subpar coffee. That is not Tinker coffee. I actually just got a notification that my subscription came through. I'm a subscriber.
You really are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They send me 2 bags every month. It's
honestly worth it if you like coffee.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great deal. You get a little discount if you use code BRUNCH.
Yeah.
To get that coffee.
And sometimes our ads seemed a little bit phoned in or whatnot, like as jokes. This isn't a joke. I would sponsor this coffee even if we weren't sponsored.
I've never been more serious about anything in my life than how good this coffee is.
There you go. And back to the program.
I would rather spit in my own mother's face than drink another cup of coffee from another roaster.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Can I ask why the Truth Cast stopped? Because that was going on for how many years?
When did we start it? It was probably like 4 or 5 years.
I was going to say, I thought it was 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, something like that. It was like 4 or 5 years. I can't remember exactly when we started it, but it just became a huge production, and like it was just getting way too big for all of us to like keep it going, because we used to do every week, and then we cut it back to every other week, and like it was just, like I said, I'm like stand up is picking up for me. Mike just had another kid. Tim, who we added onto the show later.
Doesn't he know what causes that?
Apparently not. And then Tim, who we brought on later, started a production company, and he's getting like a lot more work with that. So it was just getting harder for us to, like record and edit and do all that stuff. So we just wanted to leave on a high note. And I think we left it a little bit open so that like if down the road, we get freed up a little bit, we can like come back.
Yeah. There's another pandemic or something.
Yeah.
No, that podcast had a great deal of production value. And there was like a storyline going through. It wasn't like some piece of shit where people just show up on like a Sunday morning and talk like in somebody's basement.
Can you hit the shame button on that?
That's on us.
Yeah, for inviting her. Shame on us twice. Go ahead.
I am your only Patreon subscribers. I'm kidding. Oh my God, I'm kidding. It's a joke. So, how's Indy treating you, Alex?
It's great.
Besides this feud we're having on this side of the table.
I mean, it was great until this tension,
Yeah, we made a mistake. Having Gwen on.
This is my last time hosting.
With me. I'm just playing, Gwen.
I see how it is.
Keep going. You're doing great.
Oh, how's Indy treating you? Aside from,
it was. I mean, it's been great. Let's Fest has been a lot of fun. I had done done both of my spots, so now I'm just hanging out.
Nice.
Both spots were great. And then I had a spot in Lafayette yesterday, so I drove up there, did another spot, and came back.
Nice. It's the Lafayette Comedy Festival happening this weekend as well.
Yeah, I feel like every time you come to Indy, you always figure out how to like hit all the spots.
I mean, this is actually the most that I've done in one like visit. I feel like I've always done it like in separate visits, and it's just like I'm like there's like 1 month a year where it's like I'm coming down here every weekend because I can't just get them all together in 1 week.
Yeah, because you've been down here a lot recently. You were just at the Brick Room, weren't you?
Yeah, I was just at the Brick Room, and then Middle Ground.
Yeah, you were here.
And then I feel like there was something else between that. I can't remember, but yeah, I've been down here a lot.
We're not mad about it.
Limestone. I was down here for Limestone.
Oh yeah. You're really hitting the festival circuit hard this year.
Well, you're a gatekeeper from your parts.
Stop
let's just call it out. I'm tired of the gatekeepers hiding. Reveal yourselves. Don't be scared.
No, I turned in my keys.
Oh, you turned in the keys.
I turned my keys in. Yeah.
You're like, no more watching the gate for me.
I'm done. I'm retired, you know.
Yeah.
So wait, how long have you been doing comedy?
9.5 years.
9.5 years.
Yeah.
And when did you start producing shows?
Like maybe 2 years in.
Yeah.
Like I started producing shows pretty quick. I had a show in a meadery, and it got pretty big towards the end. But then like the landlords more or less evicted them. And so that show ended. And then that show kind of overlapped with the Independent. And then I just like...
Which is a comedy club there.
Independent comedy club in Detroit. And that I was just like getting burnt out with that. So I like slowly just started weaning myself off of like responsibility there. And now I'm kind of just like completely off.
It's easy to get burnout if you're producing a lot of shows and running mics and stuff. I was warning a new comic in our scene about that because he runs like 3 open mics, and I was like, you need to give one of these up because you're gonna get bitter and less funny. You'll be like another Tyson Cox, you know.
Because it's kind of like poison. Like it's kind of like you see. It's important, I think, for a young comic, like you said, you're 2 years in, to start running the show because you start getting the feel of what you need to do to show up. Yeah. You know what actually makes you a good guest on the show, and then you empathize and then do those same things. So like you have someone coming in like 3 minutes before their set, if that's like happens a lot, you understand that causes a lot of stress, because I've ran the show. So it's important. But it is like alcohol. Like, hey, it can be fun, but the more you do it, and if you're running 3 shows like you just said, like you will get burnt out. And I think 2 years in is like a really common time because you're like, I feel like I know what's up, and I'm gonna run a show correctly. Unlike everybody else who's not doing it the way I would do it. And then you realize.
In Detroit, it was actually like I was able to like connect with like bigger comics than I probably should have been able to connect to after 2 years because there really wasn't anything going on in Detroit.
Right.
And people were like constantly like, hey, I want to come to Detroit.
It's so close to so many places.
Right.
Too,
and so like I was one of the first people that had something going on. So like I'm a 2-year comic, like talking to like 20-year like road dogs with like, huge credits. It was like, it was like so weird.
Yeah, we get some of that in Indianapolis too, where people are just like, I'm passing through on a weekend or something. So it's pretty awesome to be able to get folks who just want to run time and, don't necessarily need a huge room or a big payday. I mean, we all do, but, we'd all rather have that. But
yeah. So you've been touring around here. Where are you going? Like, excuse me, take two. You've been touring around here. Where's your favorite place to perform in Indy?
Honestly, probably Black Circle. Like I've always had my best sets at Black Circle. That's been. I've had great times there. My first time at Black Circle was probably the best one. Like it was incredible.
Yeah, that's what I like. I mean, I'll have to get it like Let's Comedy and Rocket Ship. Just kind of teaming up together and making that a space for comics to travel through. Yeah. It's cool to see it's been like going on for like 3 years. Like, oh wait, this is real. This is a real thing, and then that just always keeps growing. And comics like you coming through and getting connected, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's been great. I mean I've met a lot of people just by doing those shows that got me shows in other cities. You know, so it's been great.
Yeah. One thing I like about seeing you too, I feel like I'm always gonna get like a little bit of a different mood. I'm gonna be real, like, because there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, like what is he gonna say, and then like how you're feeling that day, I feel like comes off right on the stage. Like there was one time, I think when abortion just got banned, and then like it was like the day of, and then like me and Dwight drove up to Michigan, and then we saw you, and like you're pissed
to have an abortion.
Yeah, we were like, hey, we need some help, Alex. I know this isn't what you usually do.
You got to get us across the border
And
into Canada.
There's a Facebook group for that. I'd be like, hey, Michigan, I'm coming for an abortion.
They do the best. That's why they call it Pure Michigan.
We're here for your cheap and legal marijuana and your cheap and legal abortions.
You know, often they're in the same building. So
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's a one-stop shop, is what we call that. Yeah.
It's dispensary, abortion clinic, donut shop. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, the trifecta. I'd never leave. I'd never leave. Just forward my mail to that.
That's everything.
Shopping center. That's where I live now.
But would I be correct though? The emotion of like what's going on that day comes off on stage, or am I reading this totally wrong?
No, I mean I think you're probably right. I definitely think maybe carry things a little too heavy sometimes, and it probably does come off on stage a little bit. I'm trying to like not be like that anymore though, because I did a show not too long ago, and I had like a mediocre set, and fellow Detroit comedian Brad Wenzel was there. And I got off stage, and Brad comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you should like look like you're having fun up there."
You should try enjoying yourself. Yeah.
So for some people that's like an act, like that. It's part of their like stage persona, but that's not the case for you.
No,
you were just generally surly that day.
I think I do try to do. I think sometimes I lean too far into being like low energy or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm trying to like consciously I don't want to change and try to be like a high energy comic, but I'm trying to like consciously like not take myself lower than I actually am.
Okay.
I'm trying to be like more like naturally where I'm at, like not try to
Makes
like
a lot of sense.
Yeah. Like I'm not trying to like add to the low energy. I'm trying to just like be like where I normally am.
Well, that energy feels like really authentic then too, I think, from stage. So.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, what do you think about money tigers?
Wait, money tigers?
This is from earlier in the show, sorry.
This is a callback. Go ahead. Money tigers.
Money tigers. That's the Japanese version of Shark Tank. It's money tigers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I was going to have a game with you. I wanted because we're going to do a little after brunchy, which is behind their paywall, where you're allowed to swear. All right? You're allowed to say it. You're allowed to say what you've been holding back this whole time.
Finally.
All slurs all the time.
But for our viewers under 21 or viewers under 40, Money Tigers. A safe game. No, I was wanting you to pitch like as a mafia guy. And then it just stopped right there. Like that was.
You think he's in the mafia?
No, I thought it'd be really funny if we acted like we were in the mafia and like we went on like Shark Tanks, but Money Tigers instead, which is the Canada version.
No, the Dragon's Den is the Canadian version of Shark Tank. Money Tigers is the Japanese version.
Oh.
Yep.
So if we're doing Money Tigers and we're doing Mafia, does that mean it's like the Yakuza then, right?
Yakuza Tiger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a new tattoo.
What would the Shark Tank be from Serbia, which is your homeland?
Oh man, it would probably be like something like money cabbage or something. I don't know.
Cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage. Yeah. Yeah, I refer to all like Eastern European and Slavic people as cabbage people.
Why is that?
Because we're cabbage people. Like our cabbage is like one of the only vegetables that we have in our diet. Like it's usually like meat as the main course with a side of meat and then like some cabbage. Like that's kind of like
some sort of slaw.
Yeah. Like it can either be cold or like warm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense. It goes well on meat.
Yeah, like a slaw or a kraut. It could be like either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cabbage was the first bread. Is what I always say.
That is what they always say. You know how
I mean,
often
I've
they've
always said that.
it. Yeah.
I've always said that.
Zach, can you look that up? Is that a saying?
Oh yeah, I've got it on a shirt.
Cabbage.
That's why I
is
thought
the
I saw
first
it.
bread.
I hope that shirt didn't throw me off and make me look stupid. Cabbage is the first bread.
I mean, I think they used cabbage to brew like the first beer.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So
I like how you
was
come on the food podcast. You're like, let me just tell you.
Yeah, you didn't get to join us for breakfast. What did you have for breakfast?
Oh, I'm like in an Airbnb with 5 other Michigan comics, and
Gross.
we just got like 18 Panera bagels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. That was good.
You can't really
Yeah.
call those bagels though. It's like a roll with a hole in it.
Hey, I mean, cabbage is cabbage. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough. When you come from a land of cabbage eaters, any bagel is good enough.
So, talking about Serbia, you were first generation?
Yeah. I mean, my mom's from Macedonia. My dad's from Serbia. They were both born over there.
What's that story?
My mom's family, I mean, they met here, but like my mom's family
In
was
your basement.
This
This is the house. Yeah, this is the house that they met. Yeah, like you weren't here yet, but like this is where they met.
I was
Actually,
wondering why their pictures were in the basement.
there was a birthday party going on down here. Yeah. I mean, my mom's family was basically just like fleeing communism, and then my dad, he was just trying to come over. Like everybody else in the family was coming over, so I guess he was just like following.
It was like trendy.
Yeah, yeah.
That was punk back in like whatever year that was.
Yeah. It was fun. My mom's story is a lot funnier because they had to.
Because she was fleeing like an oppressive regime.
Yeah. Hers is more punk.
Yeah. Because so they had to go live in a non-communist country for like a year before they could come to the U.S. So they went and lived in Vienna for like a year, and then when they left Vienna and came to the U.S., like Vienna is like one of the most beautiful like European cities. So they leave Vienna.
They got that boys choir too.
So they leave. They leave Vienna and come to Detroit and move into like one of the worst neighborhoods on the planet.
Oh, damn.
It's like America, you know?
Yeah.
Big coming to America energy.
Yeah.
Well, but at that time though, I mean, I'm not trying to date you, but like, wasn't like Detroit doing pretty good though?
No. That was like the late 70s. It was not doing good.
Oh, it was late 70s? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were way older. It's like, the 1920s, like they had
the Roaring 20s was doing great.
That was
the Model T just came out. Like, it was fantastic.
They loved it. Detroit was popping. That was when it was like the richest country in the world, right?
Motown had just come out. It's a new sound from up north.
Kids are gonna love it.
I mean, time really doesn't exist, so all of that was actually happening at the same time, you know?
Oh, let's go there for a second.
I like this.
That's after brunch talk. And we'll meet you there in about 10 minutes. No, okay, so yeah, that's awesome. What made you get in, like you grew up with them, like what made you be like funny? Like what's the comedy story for you? Because you did it, like you started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What kind of trauma caused?
I mean, honestly, like I never, like, no one ever thought I was funny growing up. I always kind of had this sense of humor, so like trying to have this sense of humor with like kids doesn't work. So like all my friends would always be like, "Shut the fuck up." You know, like,
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what were you watching? Like, what was?
My grandfather. So I would like stay with my grandparents after school because my parents would be working, and my grandfather loved Sanford and Son.
Okay.
He loved Red. Like, he didn't understand a word that they were saying, but when he got to the heart attack bit, he'd lose it every time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's what you grew up with.
yeah, stuff like that. Like, cause like
That
after,
makes sense.
cause we didn't have cable, so like I'd come home from school and it would be like all the old sitcoms. You know, like Sanford and Son was one of them. You know, like, and then like, you know, it was like crazy. It was like Sanford and Son, like Bewitched, like Gilligan's Island. Like, it was insane.
classics,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like, you know, the cartoons like you know, Tiny Toons and Animaniacs and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is also like very adult humor.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, if you get past the like original.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Text.
bottom line. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's deeper.
It is.
It's deeper, bro. it's way deeper than
No,
it looks.
like Looney Tunes was always very like. There's a lot of adult humor.
Yeah,
you know?
and some racism.
Quite a bit of racism, actually. Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there.
Bugs Bunny dressed as a girl bunny.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like, turn it off.
Talk about a sexual awakening.
My bunnies wear men clothes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you guys want to hear,
Sounds like we're getting into some after brunch talk.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
yeah, I hate that. That's the way we're ending it. I was going off. I was like trying to yes and,
You did a really good job. Yeah.
but that's like the ending of the episode. And to hear where else this goes, you're gonna have to go to the after brunch.
Yeah, you're gonna have to subscribe to the Patreon. Join me, their only Patreon subscriber, behind the paywall.
All right, I am Thaddaeus J. Mckee.
Wait, you don't get extra plugs. What do? You didn't even give them to the guest first. You went
I'll
first.
just do my last. I'll
Alex,
just do my plug
where
real
can
quick.
people find
Yeah,
you if they're not going to join us behind the paywall?
It's just my name, Alex Bozinovic, one word, on Instagram, and on Twitter I am Popper Shango.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
You don't you mean X?
Oh, no, Twitter. On Twitter I am Popper Shango.
That's awesome.
The only way I'm calling it X is if DMX bought it. That's the only way I'm calling it X.
I love that.
R.I.P. DMX.
Yeah.
I love that. Gwen's uncle.
You can find me at Gwenderwoman on all social medias or my website, gwensuncle.com. I have a new show happening monthly at Almost Famous coming up October 19th. Come out and see it. That'll be on it.
Yeah, baby. All right, Zach.
Definitely check out our after brunch where you can hear the second half of both of these halves. That's only $3 a month. Patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
KC.
I had a butterscotch iced latte with a shot of bourbon in it. I had a pumpkin cream cheese donut that was, as Gwen said, subpar. And I love you.
Nice. Daddy's J.
I'm not doing my plugs.
Oh, all
today.
2 plugs there?
You guys didn't want me to go first. That was my chance. I wrote that out. I was like, hey, I'm going to go first. And it was immediately ixnayed.
Yeah, you know the rules. You know how it goes.
I mean, I didn't know those were the rules.
You
so
can
we'll
find
talk
him
about
at
those.
Dyke Michaels.
Find me at Dyke Michaels or at Harder Brunch Media. We'll see you for the second half, baby!
Ow, ow.
Where we get crazy and we play some games. Let's go.